Good afternoon, it's John from Reynolds Blinds talking to you today from our lovely showroom in Kings Norton. And hey, it's a nice sunny day out there, and that's kind of good because we're talking sun blinds today. It's the first new launch of 2021 for many of our fabric manufacturers. As you can imagine, there's been a lot of worry and a lot of hesitance in the last 18 months because of what to do, whether to launch, what to launch, and a lot of people have sort of held back. But our good friends at Style Studio, they've cracked on. They've brought out their new Pleated and Cellular collection, and I'd like to have a look at it with you today. So, without further ado, great looking book, great looking binder, great looking artwork. Let's unbox this and we'll have a look through it and go through it and see some of the fantastic new fabrics that we're going to be able to offer you in 2021. So it's a traditional layout book. We've got fabrics on both sides. There's a script in the center here that tells you what any of the special features mean. And there's some great artwork. It's really, really nice, really inspirational. And we're going to start on this left-hand side. And in here, we've got various different cards all the way through, giving nice lifestyle shots. Some great information about the blinds. And we're going to start with the Hive brand. Now, Hive, this fabric, we have been very, very, very lucky with this and have been very successful with this fabric. It's an energy saver. And the reason it's called a Hive is because if we open it up and we have a look at a piece of fabric and we look at it from the side, can you see the cells in there? Well, the cells are great because two reasons. One, they trap a layer of air. That layer of air acts as insulation, which means these things are very, very good at keeping the room either warmer, or actually we're hearing it cools rooms down very well as well, because there's an awful lot of overheating issues with modern double glazing. So the Hive range is great. The other thing that is nice about it, and if I can just turn my camera around and see if I can show you this, is when it comes to the blind actually being made up. I've just borrowed a couple of samples here. This is a traditional pleated blind. It's a great product, really, really nice, but two things. Can you see those holes? That's where you can see the cord running through. If you switch to a Hive product instead, those holes are all hidden. Because this fabric has this kind of cell look to it, you can just about see on the edge there, it means that you can't see the holes and you can't see the cords. So it's a really, really neat product, especially in our perfect fit frame. And I'm certain that was in the forefront of their minds when they were putting this book together, because our new cellular, it's huge. We've got such a great selection here. This is what we call the deluxe. So it's very nice. You can't really, I don't know whether you guys will be able to see that, but it's got like a sort of almost like a linen kind of weave to it. Great colour ranges, bringing in these bright yellows. This colour's very, very in at the moment. These blues are very, very in. Of course, we've got the greys. They're never going to go out of fashion at the moment. There's no news on anything replacing grey at the moment. But that's a great range. Really nice, good palette of colours there. We then have, and this is a new one for us, it's the same material but in a blackout. Now we actually call them blockout because you can get a little bit of light around the sides. But can you see in the centre there, can you see that silver finish that they've got? Not only does it mean that light can't travel through the fabric, although you can get a little bit around the edges, remember, light won't travel through the fabric. Apparently we're hearing really, really good tales about how good this is at retaining heat or rejecting heat from a room. And if you've got large bifold doors, for example, and you're trying to run a television screen in there or something like that, this fabric's great. But you've got that great palette again, really, really nice colour range in there. This is one of our traditional, one of our originals, one of our traditional Hive fabrics. This is, we just call this one plain. There's a couple of additions in here. There's some flame retardant ones, which I don't think are, for the home isn't important, but for if we're going to use them in commercial environments, that's great. Again, you've got the greys. That's a nice colour, quite a warm fudge colour. That sand down there, that's always popular. Again, just makes that lovely cell look when it's when you pull the when it's pulled down. Really, really chic. Blackout, again, same style as the plain, but the blackout version of it, good colours, with that silver through the middle. Again, very, very energy saving these. These ones here, again, just adding a bit of style to them with some patterns, some subtle patterns, because if you were using these in a conservatory or you were covering a large set of bifold doors, there's an awful lot of area that you're covering, and to be dead plain might not look so good, whereas just a tiny bit of pattern really adds to the product. And of course, don't forget, if you are using our perfect fit frames, we do them in a range of colours, including the grey. Now we've got the anthracite grey that's very popular, white of course, we've got some golden oak ones, we've got some matte grey frames. There's lots and lots to choose from, so we can I'm sure we can match your doors. This one here, again, lovely patterning to it, just to give it something different, and I think that's a beautiful colour. I think they've done really well on that one. I think that's such a warm colour, especially like sort of with all the bamboos and everything that's coming in. That's a great choice, really good. These ones are new to us. These are new for this year. They are standard fabrics, so they're not block out, but they've got much more of a weave to them. I don't know whether you can catch this. Of course, all of these will be available in store, so you can come and see them in person, or you can get our guys to come out free of charge and we'll bring these samples to you. And very soon we'll have our sample service online as well, so you can order samples of these. But that's a lovely looking fabric, really fine. Just looks like a shantung silk. Very nice. And then we've got, again, this is another new one. Fine looking fabric, really nice. Slightly restricted palettes, but again, the grey, that's the one that's a super important fabric to have. And now these are very new. These are sort of, this is where we're going now in terms of the digital prints. This I've never seen before on a cellular fabric, and I think these are great. This really is going to take these sort of blinds away from having to be a conservatory product right into the home, because any window can benefit from these. And to have all these great colours, this print here, it's massive at the moment. We're seeing it all over the place, and I think these are really exciting. We, again, going back to the website, we will have, and I think you can see on this card here, they've done a lot of digital imaging for us so that you can see what the blind looks like in a large piece, because obviously sort of trying to see or trying to work out what this one here would look like from a piece this big, the digital images really help out with this, and they'll all be going onto the website. And that is the new Hive range. We're really excited about it. Can't wait to be seeing it and start to be making some of these blinds up and getting them up onto display. We then go into the standard pleated range. Infusion, that's one of our favourites. Now Infusion, you'll be able to see, let me get that card out and show you. Infusion, it's called ASC, if you can see that just at the end, and that's a special solar coating that we have on the back. Traditionally with blinds, if you have a darker colour, for example, they'll let less light through, but the problem is that they do it in quite an unelegant way, in that they just block the light. What you really want to be doing is reflecting the light away, trying to get rid of it, because sunlight brings heat with it. And if you're just simply blocking the heat, which is what these dark colours traditionally would do, that warms the blind up. So the blind winds up then acting a little bit like a radiator in the room, so you're still getting heat in. Whereas a nice white fabric like this will reflect away a lot of the heat, so it'll stay cooler. The downside is, with a lighter colour, is that you tend to get more heat and more light travelling through. So it was always kind of a balancing act. What we've done with an ASC coating is, you can't really tell very much on the white one, but if I show you the back of this black one, we've put a reflective backing on it. And all of these colours, this range, I mean, it's just huge. It's a great range of fabrics. Every colour you could possibly need. They have all got this ASC backing on them, which then means that it doesn't matter as much what colour you pick, whether you pick this dark red with the reflective back on, or whether you go for this lighter soft lilac colour. They all perform an awful lot better and an awful lot more evenly, so you don't need to worry too much about colour. We're then into halo, which is our block out. Nowhere near as good a block out as the Hive, probably a little bit more cost effective because with pleated it's only single layer, whereas as you know from earlier that Hive is double layer. And then we've got shadow, which again is another block out. Some great colours in here, but you know you've got your important ones, your graphites, your greys, that sort of thing. And then we move into this range. And this is interesting. This is I think this is going to be very important and quite a way forward. These are eco fabrics, so these are actually made from recycled materials, and believe it or not, they're made from recycled drinks bottles. So a lot of the threads in here are actually made by taking bottles, breaking them down, and then turning them into threads. And this whole page here is all made from recycled material. Sometimes we have found in the past that there's a bit of maybe that it's not the best suited, maybe it's not the best quality for making particular products if you're using recycled. Not with this stuff. It's been absolutely excellent from what we've seen of it. It feels great. The factory have had a good look at it, and they seem to be happy that they're going to be able to work with it. So I think this is really exciting to see that the textiles industry is taking a stand here and trying to bring out something which will help, even if it's only in a small way, to try and do a little bit of saving the planet. So that's an interesting range. Moving on to this side of the book. Again, artwork. It's just great, these sort of mood boards that they're coming up with for us. It's really interesting, really nice to see these sort of colours. It really helps us out in sort of predicting a little bit of future trends. This obviously, a little bit of explanation about those recycled from the plastic bottles that we were talking about just a moment ago. And then we come over into the main design gallery. Now this right hand side, that's quite nice. Do like that, the way that they're giving you those larger cards again so that you can see them, see the bigger pieces of the fabric. That's very useful. So this is sort of the design side of the book, and it's fabrics by colours, because quite a lot of the time you might not know that you want a Hive fabric, for example, but you don't know which, you know that you want it in a particular colour, so you don't want to see all of the colours. You want to see the colours that are interesting to you. So this page here, we have got, again, if I show you, we've got those Hive type fabrics like that. But we've also got the pleated in this side as well, and there's some new stuff in here. The eco is in here, so that's one of the eco fabrics. We've got the block out, which we've just been looking at, and then we have things like this. This is what's called a jacquard, so you can actually feel, if you rub your fingers across a jacquard, you can feel that the pattern is woven into the fabric. And this here is a print, so we've got a great colour. That's a little bit of gold on a white background. That's a nice fabric. So we've got a big range of whites here. We go over into creams. There's some flame retardants here, which might be useful if you're putting them into a commercial environment. That's always been a popular fabric. That's got a lovely sheen to it. That's one of those eco fabrics again, the recycled ones. And again, we've got some Hive in here too. Now this is when we start to get a little more interesting in terms of these prints coming in. That's a Hive print. Again, that's another Hive print. The range is huge, absolutely huge. I do genuinely believe that there is not a better pleated and cellular collection in the UK market. I thought the old one was very, very good. This one is exceptional. It's just taken, it's taken what was a market leader and it's taken it one stage further. Prints, These are these digital prints. This has been great for our industry because since digital has come along and the quality has got very, very high with digital, they can have some fun. They can produce some patterns and they can take a chance with them, which in the past we wouldn't have been able to do because the quantity that was required to make it worthwhile for doing the production run was so high when it was a traditional kind of printing that everything had to stay a little bit safe. Whereas with digital printing, the numbers that you need to print are a lot lower. Actually, there's a very good example of one with a silver back, actually. Because the production run is a lot shorter on a digital print, it means that the designers can take a chance and they can have some fun and they can get those really, really good bold patterns out there. And without having to put thousands of meters on the shelf, that gets taken a lot, that they get taken to market now, and it means that we've got some great stuff that we can offer. Creams, beiges, again. Print there, print in a block out. That's a great looking fabric, that's so pretty. All the way through, going a little bit darker. These are a nice warm colour, very, very warm these are. That's really nice. That's that new one. That's the yeah, that's in the nut colour, very nice. Again, I don't know whether you can see on this side, but we've got all this nice artwork over here as well. And then we've got some really bold patterns here. And I think that's obviously the contrast with the black and white is great. How nice is that? And you go back to that card that we had a look at earlier, and you'd be able to see what that looks like in a big piece. Or I know I keep repeating myself, but these will all be on the website as well. I mean, look at that. Isn't that pretty? Again, really, really good. Really, really good range. And then, wow, you know, I mean, that they've taken a proper, they've been very bold on that. And we can see that in this card here. That's a great looking fabric. Really, really nice. And it's taking them, as I said, away from conservatories and away from bifold doors and being able to use them in bedrooms or lounges. Because this range is so good. So, like I say, I think hats off to Style Studio for this. We'll pack that book up and we'll have a little roundup. Yeah, so yeah, hats off to them. It would have been very, very easy to have just said, no, we'll stay tight, we'll sit this out, we won't worry about this collection, we'll launch it in 22 or something like that. Bearing in mind, the guys who are putting this together, a lot of this has been done from working from home, a lot of the artwork has been put together at home. People who are putting this together, it's a mammoth task, and I think they deserve some credit, especially under the circumstances. But we're really excited. The books are on the way into us. We should be having them into store. We're in the middle of May at the moment, so by the middle of June, I'd like to see by the beginning of June, I'd like to see all of these in store. Come on in, have a look. Website, it'll take us a tiny little bit of time because you've seen how many are in here to get that caught up, but we'll get that website all updated with all the new imagery for you. The sample service will be coming online. Really excited. First of many, hopefully the first of many of these videos as well, just to let you know what we're up to. So yeah, reynoldsblinds.co.uk. Give us a call, drop us an email, fill in one of the forms online, come on into the showrooms. We're fully open now in Wild Green, we're fully open in Birmingham, in Kings Norton, we're fully open at Oxford, we're fully open at Banbury. Come on down, whatever you need, or we can come to you. But thanks for your time. Appreciate it. Was quite a lot to go through, but you can see how many were in there. So yeah, looking forward to seeing these coming through the factory. Okay, thanks guys.